Have you ever woken up after a full night's sleep and you're still just completely exhausted? Or maybe you struggle every single day with mysterious bloating, uncontrollable bowel movements, reflux, or this inescapable brain fog that just won't lift? Well, let me tell you, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're launching a bit of a medical investigation into a condition called intestinal hyperpermeability. You probably know it better as leaky gut, and we're going to uncover exactly what is secretly breaking down your gut lining right now.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're focused on finally feeling better, this explainer is going to give you a clear, structured countdown of the 5 exact lifestyle causes we need to eliminate to stop your gut from leaking. We'll be looking at 1. The inflammatory food trap, 2. Drinks that irritate, 3. The medication dilemma, 4. Stress and poor sleep, and 5. Compounding gut issues. So let's get right to the root of the problem.
Okay, let's dive into this with our first and honestly biggest culprit. Number 1, the inflammatory food trap. Here's the thing. You could eliminate every other cause we're going to talk about today, but if you ignore these inflammatory foods, you'll probably never truly heal your gut. These are everyday staples that act as a trap, actively inflaming your system. We're talking about most grains, especially those with gluten, both refined and natural sugars, heavily processed foods, unhealthy vegetable oils like canola oil, artificial sweeteners, and most soy products. The hard truth is, avoiding these is actually way more important than whatever healthy superfoods you try to eat to fix the problem. You simply can't out-eat a diet that is fundamentally damaging your gut lining day in and day out. Now, you might be wondering why gluten gets singled out so often. Well, when you consume gluten, it spikes the levels of a specific protein in your body called zonulin. Think of your gut lining like a tightly woven net that's meant to keep the bad stuff out. Zonulin is essentially a chemical signal that tells your body to unlock the protective gates of that lining. It literally loosens the knots of the net. And when that happens, toxins, undigested food particles, and bacteria leak straight into your bloodstream, which sets off massive, widespread inflammation. And it's not just gluten. Along with it, everyday items like normal dairy act as these hidden inflammatory triggers. Every single time you consume them, they keep your gut lining aggravated. It's literally like rubbing salt in an open wound. Your gut simply cannot heal if you keep tossing these highly inflammatory triggers into your digestive tract day after day. You have to give the tissue a break so it can finally start repairing itself. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is number 2, drinks that irritate. We focus so much on what we eat, right? But we completely forget that what we wash our food down with is almost as important. Let's look at this comparison. On the left, we have obvious habits, things like alcohol, caffeine, sugar, and artificial sweeteners. We know those aren't great. But on the right, we have hidden irritants, specifically high FODMAP ingredients. FODMAPs are basically fermentable sugars. And when your gut is in bad shape, these sugars are poorly absorbed. A perfect example is the fructose hiding in a seemingly healthy glass of fruit juice. Because it isn't absorbed properly, it creates excess fermentation and draws water into your intestine. The result? Gas, bloating, diarrhea. It essentially acts like liquid sandpaper to an already sensitive and damaged gut. Moving on to number 3, the medication dilemma. This is a really high-stakes area because the very things originally meant to heal us might actually be compounding our digestive distress. Just look at the physical toll these common medications take on the gut environment. Over-the-counter NSAIDs like your standard ibuprofen or aspirin can directly weaken the gut walls. Moving down the list, steroids and antibiotics radically alter your gut bacteria balance. Antibiotics, for instance, are like a wildfire in your stomach. Sure, they wipe out the bad bacteria, but they also destroy the good flora you absolutely need for digestion. And antacids? They hamper your natural stomach acid production. If you don't have enough acid, your food isn't broken down properly in the stomach, which completely derails your digestive system further down the line. Actually, scratch that. Let me pause right here with a really crucial warning. While we know these medications can exacerbate leaky gut, you must absolutely never stop taking prescribed medications without your doctor's supervision. Stopping them immediately cold turkey can be incredibly dangerous and cause severe rebound effects. You need to partner with your physician on this. Have an honest, open conversation with them to figure out what you can safely limit or remove as your overall health starts to improve. All right, that brings us to number 4, stress and poor sleep. Look, I completely understand that work, family, or social stress can be just as hard to avoid as gluten. But I want to pose this provocative question. Are your daily habits as bad for your gut as gluten? Well, the research says yes. We tend to brush off chronic stress and lack of sleep as just mental burdens, but they are very real, very physical gut irritants.
I've literally seen people eat the strictest diets in the world and take all the right supplements, but they still don't feel better. Why? Because their lifestyle is running on chronic stress and consistently terrible sleep. So let's break down the 3-step biological impact this has on your digestive system. First, chronic stress and poor sleep physically weaken your intestinal lining. Second, they slow down your digestive capacity. When you're stressed out, your body enters a fight or flight state. This actively pulls blood and resources away from digestion and sends them to your muscles. Because of that, your food just sits there and ferments way longer than it should. And third, this stagnant environment throws your gut flora completely out of balance. Honestly, prioritizing 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep and managing your stress is just as medical as changing your diet.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Number 5, compounding gut issues.
The gut is this incredibly interconnected ecosystem, which means leaky gut almost never happens in a vacuum. It usually muddies the waters with other conditions. It's super common for people to also be dealing with things like IBS, SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, candida, and reflux. It's actually a massive chicken or egg mystery in the scientific community right now. Experts are still heavily debating whether leaky gut causes these conditions, or if these conditions are what ultimately cause the leaky gut.
But here is the good news in all of this. Even though we don't know exactly which issue causes the other, this approach takes all of them into account. By safely eliminating the inflammatory triggers, the irritating drinks, and the lifestyle stressors we've just laid out, you are targeting the root of all these compounding bacterial problems at the exact same time. You're effectively starving the bad bacteria and giving your entire digestive system a fighting chance to finally reset. So, if you take nothing else away from this explainer, remember this. Today is strictly about what to remove. Notice we aren't adding any expensive superfoods or bizarre supplements today. We aren't throwing complicated new recipes at you. We are simply stopping the damage. You absolutely have to empty the overflowing bucket of causes before you can even think about patching the holes at the bottom. I definitely want to give full credit to the source material that made this explainer possible. All of these insights come straight from the brilliant free guide, How to Heal Leaky Gut. It was put together by Richard, the founder of Goodbye Leaky Gut, alongside his highly dedicated research team of doctors and dietitians at Essential Stacks. Their incredible research is really what helps cut through the noise and clear up the confusion around digestive health. Finally, please keep in mind that the content in this explainer is strictly for educational and informational purposes. It's not medical advice. Our goal here is to empower you with the structured knowledge you need to go have a highly informed conversation with your own physician. So I'll leave you with this thought. Now that you know exactly what is secretly breaking your gut, are you ready to start fixing it?